Hi, today we're going to look at using our calculators to more easily calculate instantaneous rate of change using tables. So, for example, let's say that we want to find the instantaneous rate of change at a point x equals 1 given x to the third plus 2x is the function that we're looking at. So remember, when we're doing this, we don't just want to pick one x really close to 1, we want to choose a couple to see if we can see a trend. So I am just going to let x stand for some number close to 1 and 1. So we're going to be looking on this interval. Now remember, to calculate the IROC, it looks an awful lot like AROC. So the IROC, in this case, we are going to have, well, let's write this more mathy. So the IROC is going to be our function f of x minus f of 1. Remember, we're taking all of that and we're dividing it by x minus 1, so the difference on our interval. So it's going to look something like this. Now, if we're going to enter that in our calculator, well, we don't want to enter f of x, we actually want to enter this equation here. So let's spruce this up a little bit. So we are going to have the instantaneous rate of change. It's going to be, well, f of x, this guy here, is x to the third plus 2x minus, and then we have to subtract what f of 1 is. So if I plug 1 into this equation, I'm going to get 1 to the third plus 2 times 1, which is 2, so 1 plus 2 gives me 3, divided by x minus 1. Great. Now we have a nice equation that we can type into our calculator. So if you're using a TI-84, what you're going to do is you're going to first turn it on, and you want to make sure that you're at your y equals. So initially when you turn your calculator on, you might see this home screen. In the very top left-hand corner, you're going to hit y equals. And now we want to type this guy in. Well, when we type this guy in, we want our calculator to know that we want to group the top together. So we need to make sure that we have parentheses around it, like so. We also want to make sure that we have parentheses around the bottom, so it knows it's grouping those guys together too. So we're going to go parentheses, x to the third, oops, x to the third plus 2x minus 3, and parentheses divided by x minus 1, parentheses, and hit enter. Great. Now that we have our IROC function inside of our calculator, now what we want to do is we want to make sure our table is set up correctly. So we're going to hit the second button and hit window. That'll select this table button. You want to make sure that your table set is set up like this. So we don't care about the table start or delta table equals 1. Don't care about that. The big thing we want to make sure is that our independent variable is set to ask. We want to make sure that our dependent variable is set to auto. That means that the calculator will automatically determine what this function equals depending on what x we put in. So once your table set looks like this one here, go ahead and hit second again and hit the graph button. That'll select this table. Alright, now I already have some information in here. Alright, that's okay. So anyway, let's say we want to enter values close to 1. So I already entered some values in here, but here's how you do it. Let's hit 0.5, enter, and our calculator will automatically tell us what the y value is. So if I put a 1 into this equation here, it's going to give me 3.75. Now remember, we want to choose x's that are close to 1. So I put in 0.9, 0.99, 0.999, and 0.9999. And we can see that as we get values closer to 1, it looks like these values are getting closer to 5. So we can say then that our IROC equals 5.